Alright, we have a Toyota Matrix model 2004 here, and today I'm going to show you how to disable the daytime running lights on this Toyota Matrix. And there are a couple of reasons why I choose to disable daytime running light. Number one is because the light here is always on. So over periods of few years, I've burned quite a few light bulbs on this car, and I do not want to spend any more money on this bulb. And reason number two is because of gas mileage. Each of these light bulbs consume about 50 watts. So both of these light bulbs, when on, will consume about 100 watts, and that has to come from somewhere. The energy is needed to turn on the lights is not free, and your car has to work a little bit harder to run the light, to keep the light on, and that comes from the alternator. Some of you might argue, well, the alternator is always on, so having these two lights on just doesn't matter much because it's always running. Well, that's not true, because think of it as a power on demand, because electricity cannot be stored, right? It's only can be used on demand. So for example, if you ever have a generator, and when you run your generator, if you notice that when you suddenly turn on something else other than what you are running, for example, when you turn on the microwave, for example, the generator will have to work a little bit harder. So you will see it start to run harder the moment you turn on the microwave or something else that consume more power than you're currently running. So what that means is it will need for this car, it will need the alternator to run harder to power these two light bulbs when you turn it on. And the gas that you can save usually to turn these two light bulbs off, usually around 3 to 4%. For this particular car, different cars will have different numbers, but for this car, it's usually around 3%. It's not much, but over the entire life of the car, it's going to add up, and that's going to be a lot. To put that in perspective, on average, we spend around $1,500 to $2,000 per year per car that we drive, and 3% of $1,000 is $30. And for 2,000 is $60 per year. So $60 is how much it costs for me for 1 year to run this car, just to have the two headlights on all the time. And that $60 I can use to buy something else more useful, like 2 tanks of gas for this car, for example. Anyway, now that we get that out of the way, let's go ahead and disable this daytime running light. Alright, so you're gonna go under your steering wheel column. There's a gas and brake pedal here. Quite dark here, so I got my flashlight on. Let's see where it is. So here you can see this box right here, this black box right here, and you're gonna, let me see. It's quite tight here. It's so hard for me to maneuver with a camera. But anyway, here's the steering wheel column. That is the black box with the wires coming out from this box right here, not those two. Okay, this one right here, and locate this wire. You see this red wire, this red with white stripe on it. The white stripe is thinner than the red, so this wire is mostly red. It just has a little white stripe on it. There are some other red wire with white stripe on it, but the white stripe is bigger. I think this one is different. So this one's also white stripe, but the stripe is bigger. The white stripe is bigger. Okay. This one right here. But this red stripe, let's see where it is. This one here. This one right here. It's basically a red cable with a very little white stripe on it. Okay. So all you gotta do is just to cut it. Alright, so let's cut this thing. Done. It's easier to cut it, and then if you made a mistake later on, or you want to put back together, it's very easy to just tie it back together, just with a wing nut. But well, it's cut for now. Alright, let's turn on the car to see if we still have the running light. There you go. The car is running, engine is on, no more daytime running light. Light is not on. Absolutely no light.